Greetings, Alcorn. I am Stevion, and I am coming to you today from the Roundtable discussion. And today's topic is going to be something that I haven't thought about in a while, but I still think it's still prevalent today. So, we're going to get into the topic of mental health in men. And today, our guest is going to be Mr. Terrell White. So, let's get it. Okay, so when I think of mental health, I think of things such as anxiety, bipolar disorder, depression, things such as ADHD, ADD, things that some kids experience in school now. So, Terrell, when you hear mental health, what comes to mind?
When I think of mental health, I think you pretty much hit it right on the nail. Definitely depression, bipolar disorder, other things that people would have that would be considered either disabilities or things that just make things a little more challenging for them in this world.
Okay. So, since today's topic is basically mental health in men, in your personal opinion, why do you think mental health is not taken seriously when it comes to men?
That's a really great question. In this world, there's just a stigma that men have to be just the bigger person, or as I like to say, man up. So in that aspect, it seems like it's not okay, and it's been normalized that men cannot have feelings or emotions, or they can't show that they're actually hurting inside. So they pretty much keep that all balled up inside them because the universe tells them that it's not okay for it to release it and stuff. And keeping that all inside you and everything is not good, because eventually it's going to come out either willingly or, by itself. And when it does, the effects of that could be really negative and stuff. It can lead to definitely depression, which could lead to suicide and many other things down the line that, that could really negatively impact you. So I think mental health in men should be taken just as seriously as mental health in women as well. And we should literally just get rid of the stigma that it's not okay.
And I think that it's not only just that it's not taken seriously in men. Now you have it to where it's like teenagers and some kids are actually experiencing some forms of mental health, and it's not being described as okay. It's not just a regular mental health. It's okay. The children are troubled. They're this, then they're that. But really and truly, these kids today actually are going through things in life that are actually putting them behind in certain things. Like for instance, some kids I've actually seen kids they get behind in school because they're depressed, and you wouldn't think that a 12-year-old could be depressed, but a 12-year-old could be depressed. You don't know what's going on in the household. They could be experiencing abusive relationship with their parents, things of that sort, and you just never know. It's like I don't think that it should be taken lightly in most senses, because all in all, depression, anxiety, that bipolar disorder, and things like that, it's a really serious topic. And I know for me personally, I've had mental health issues. I've suffered depression for the past 3 years. I've I once thought that I had bipolar disorder, but it wasn't really that. It was just like a very deep depression. Anxiety is some things that plays a part in my life as well, because it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, so like I get overwhelmed and things of that such. So it's like I understand that it's a thing, but other people might not understand it's a thing. It's like others they might not see the things that we see when it comes to mental health.
And I definitely agree with that. As kids are growing up, parents tend to overlook what their kids are feeling and stuff. And parents are not doing that to not to wrong their kid on purpose and everything. Most parents don't know that they're doing this at all and think that their kids, as you say, would be troubled, or maybe they're just going through a little phase or something, and not understand that their kid doesn't definitely has a problem or something going on with inside of them that actually needs to be looked into instead of just putting it off as a bad kid and everything like that. Or as you say, you don't know what's going on inside their household. So as they come to school every day, they could be going through something at home every time when they go home or coming from it and stuff. So definitely mental health in not only men but children as well is very important, because I believe that's where it starts from. You know, people who have troubled use and it carries on until their adulthood, when really it could have stopped and been prevented, or definitely properly treated when they were young.
True. That is so true. Like I've actually know someone who they're at the moment. I think they're like 15 now, and they've been diagnosed by a doctor with depression. It's like just that bad to the point where they've gone to the doctor for it. You're 15 and you're on antidepressants. It should not have to come to that. If you're 15 and on antidepressants, I don't think that's necessary. So like I think that there should be more resources out here for kids, teenagers, young adults, because then you do have resources out here, but you don't have the right people giving them the information that they need when it comes to these kinds of things. So I mean, I just wish that it was so much more that could be done, which there is. I just hope that it gets done so that we can end the long period of this thing called mental health.
Which I definitely agree with. I think what that could really help, especially in men who do have better halves, partners and everything, it's great for their better half to talk with them and to try to understand the things that are going through and stuff like that, instead of beating them down for it. Or definitely men talking to other men like that, either in groups or sessions or anything like that. Talking with somebody definitely helps a lot about getting things out and stuff, even though it seems like it might not completely do anything at all. But releasing that energy and putting it out there and getting it away from you, it really is a good relief as it is. And definitely as far as children, like I don't know much off the top of my head, but I really wish there was a lot more that we can do for children as far as mental health. I think parents just really need to, definitely watch their kids and try to understand, instead of trying to put it off as in like, they're just something they're just acting like, or it's a part of their youth, or they're just growing up, or maybe they're just gonna grow out of it and stuff like that, and actually pay attention to their kids and see signs and stuff, and get their kids help. Like, don't think like this is something that you can just put off for years and years and everything. You need to actually, if you love your kids as much as you do, you're gonna invest in them as much as you can.
True. And to all the men who may be listening to this today, it's okay to talk to other guys about your problems.
And it's okay not to be okay.
It is completely okay not to be okay. Like, I've had to tell myself that plenty of times. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to talk to other guys about your problems. Because you never know that guy might be going through the same thing you're going through. But you're in a position that we've been labeled as, okay, we're supposed to keep everything inside and handle everything ourselves. It's okay to talk to other people. Completely okay to talk to other people. And I found my main comfort in talking to other people about my problems. Mainly guys. Because little do you know, they might be going through the same thing you're going through. And what they've gone through already can help you get through what you're going through. So, I mean, all in all, just talk about it. That's all I have to say is just talk about it. And this has been the Roundtable Discussion with Stevion Alexander and our guest Terrell White. Catch us next week for the next episode.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
See ya.